Welcome back, guys. It has been 5 years since I made this video. Now, for those of you who don't know, this was actually my first channel that I created in 2020, and I really thought it was going to be all about self-development and all that jazz, and honestly, that channel has turned into something different. I don't know if I've uploaded anything on there just yet, but I've since created 2 new channels that I'm very proud of, actually. Even if they're not perfect, even if I don't look like an official YouTuber, I'm still really proud of the work that I put into it, the words that I've said overall, and my intent and my dedication towards everything. Anyway, I just thought this would be a fun little thing to do, and I can't believe it's been 5 years, well actually 5.5 at this point, since I started my YouTube channel. And obviously I haven't been consistent this whole time, but I just thought it would be really cool to see what I've learnt, what has stayed the same about me, what has changed, and I thought we could have fun and reflect together. One quick note is I would love it if you could excuse my AC going in the background. It is boiling right now. I'm filming in late June in the summer in the UK, so I'm very sorry, but in order to get through this video, I'm gonna need that. Grab yourself a drink. I got myself a little sugary Red Bull, and let's get started. By the way, quick note, I've not seen this video for like a year and a bit. I have dropped in, like I have checked in every now and then to watch it, and every time I'm like, whoa, what? I'm like, I agree, I disagree with that. And but for this, like I wanted to give it a good amount of time before I came back. So I'm kind of like nervous, like pre-watching thoughts. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm also like really excited, and I wanted to kind of recreate like where I was sat and everything. And it's really strange to me, like I'm in the same room. Oh, just like a quick reflection, like, whoa. I've changed a lot. I think my heart has kind of remained the same. My spirit has definitely remained the same. I just think I've definitely matured, and I'm very proud to say that. And I honestly, I would love to do this again in 5 years and see what I've learned. And anyway, let's just do it. A little nervous. I know I scream at the beginning. I know this was like my 3rd take. I'd been trying to film the same video for ages, and I might even mention that, but let's see. Yeah. I was actually so proud of that intro. I made it, and this was back when my channel was called Trouble in Paradise. Where that nickname came from, one of my family friends growing up used to call me Trouble, and then the first guy that I guess officially dated, if you will, I think he asked me once, like, if I had a middle name, and I was like, yeah, Trouble. So it just became this thing, and Trouble in Paradise, that was my Instagram handle as well for a long time.
Okay, so, sorry if you're wearing headphones, I shouldn't have screamed.
Like, screaming.
But I was so ready to just do this. Like,
She's still cursing. Nothing much has changed.
Okay, whatever, alright, whatever. Ignore that. Hi, hi, internet. Like, I don't really know what else to say. You're gonna find out everything about me, so yeah, let's just get on with this video. The reason I'm filming this again is because I love to ramble, and
I think I've worked on that. I think I get to the point a little more. I still love to ramble, but I get to the point a little more. Uni has helped with that actually a lot.
Yeah, that's one of my New Year's resolutions, to cut down on the rambling, cut down on the BS, and
I don't know if I did that.
Just get to the point. So that's what we're gonna do with this video. I'm gonna achieve this resolution right here, right now. This video is covering my New Year's resolutions. I know this is a little bit late. It's currently like the 4th of February or something. And you know what? I'm gonna film this today. I'm gonna get it uploaded today.
I didn't. I got it uploaded like a day or 2 later. But still, that's better than what I've been doing before that.
I shouldn't curse so much. My parents are gonna watch this and they're gonna hate me.
My dad still hates it if I curse.
I've categorized things. So like normal people will make like 1 resolution, 5 resolutions.
I love this. I'm like I'm doing all those cuts, like zooming in and like being so extra. I love it. I love it.
Whatever. I decided to make a whole A4 page because that's how we roll here. The general theme, aside from like health and chores and like basic logical stuff, is being more fearless. And I've written everything down. That's why I'm looking down right now. Being more fearless, going for things, valuing myself enough to work for what I want.
So cute. I think if there's anything I would tell her is you shouldn't aim to be fearless, but rather aim to be brave. Fear is never going to stop being a part of the equation, and if you can learn to move with the fear, I think that's honestly the biggest skill that you can develop in life. Like that is one of the most helpful skills that you can develop.
Right, so I'm just gonna like go straight into it. I mean, if you're interested, feel free to watch. If you're not interested, then thumbs up and leave. Yeah, thank you, that'll be appreciated. If you want to subscribe, go ahead, welcome. I haven't really decided what to call my subscribers yet. We'll figure that out. Anyway,
Mango fam? I think that's what we went with.
The first category is health. So this is kind of like, oh, I'm jumping back again. All right, so this is kind of like for me as well, this video, to hold myself accountable. I mean, it's out there on the internet, and I want to see like how much of the stuff I have actually achieved by the end of the year. What's great is 1 month in, I've already achieved a couple of the things. So
achieved.
Off to a decent start. If you like achieving things, then stick around, because I'm hoping that that's what this channel is going to be about.
So cute.
Yeah, health. I want to sleep more. Yeah, I think
Babe, same. Same.
a lot of people want that, but the thing is, I only have myself to blame really in terms of my sleep. I don't know if there's a certain routine I can set, but that is one of my priorities, to prioritize my sleep.
It's not though. You're lying. It's not one of your priorities, because if it was one of your priorities, you'd actually actively spend time trying to find a solution to it. Actively, not just wishing, thinking, hoping, putting it at the back of your mind. You would find a solution, and you didn't.
I look like a zombie, I feel like a zombie, I function like a zombie, and we don't need any of that. Like, no. Second thing is uni work. So I'm in uni right now, learning how to be independent and like forcing yourself to concentrate and not procrastinate. That is something I am yet to master. If you have any tips, comment down below. Like, help me out.
5 to 10 minute rule. Just sit down. Chuck your phone. We're only human. It took me a long time to figure that out. First of all, study something you actually like, you know, not just something that sounds good, not just something that, oh, I do this. Wow, you do that. No, like, you genuinely have questions about that subject matter and you enjoy it. If you're stuck on this, just check out my other videos on this channel, I think, and then my main channel as well about your purpose, passion, stuff like that. And then that will help you to figure out what to do with your life and your degree. But that's number one. Number two, we're all human. The phone is built to distract us. Put your phone outside of the room. Genuinely, just lock it. Like, it's fine. It doesn't make you weak. Just put it outside of the room. No music, zero zilch, and just set yourself a timer of 10 minutes and just sit and start and let it be ugly. One key thing I tell myself is like, I want you to give me the shittiest essay. The shittiest essay you can ever write. Because I think sometimes when we start, like, say for example it's a deadline, we start something and we think, oh my god, it has to be perfect. Perfect doesn't come from the beginning. You know, start slow, get the bare bones, let it be ugly. Make me the ugliest piece of work you can. And then before you know it, you get into it, it starts making a bit more sense. You're like, okay, maybe I can tweak that, maybe I can tweak that, maybe I can tweak that, you know? I think I was so focused at that time as well. I was trying to make everything just so neat and perfect from the beginning. And I used to do the same thing when I was learning any dance choreos. I was like, let me perfect each and every single move. Look, try your best, but like, don't overly spend. I could spend half an hour on just like a 5 to 10 second bit. It was crazy. Learn the overall thing. You can go in and refine the details later.
My diet and sugar addiction. So right now I'm on a bit of a health transformation. Well, at least I'd like to say that. I've been eating cookies recently.
Diet and sugar addiction. I mean, I'm sure at this point I've gone into it a bit more on this channel, but calling it a diet and then like a sugar addiction, I don't even know if that's the right terminology to start with, and then to sort of be self-deprecating, that kept me in a loop for a while. You really need to learn to re-identify yourself, and it's not so much about being, this is who I am, because that doesn't always work. And I think if your environment hasn't changed, it's really hard for you to convince yourself of that fact, that this is who I am, and now I'm a healthy person. So rather, what I would advise her is learn what discipline is, learn that you are capable of saying no, and irrespective of what your identity has been up until this point, you can make difficult choices and you can survive them. And the more evidence you give yourself of that fact, the more confidence you gain in yourself, the more confidence you gain in your new identity, which will create a positive feedback loop for you. And you sort of become, your actions sort of become like self-reaffirming, if that makes sense eventually. And it just becomes a byproduct of who you are. Start slow, start small. And I would actually say, look at the science as well. I had such little scientific knowledge. I completely neglected the fact that I'm a woman that has a menstrual cycle. I really thought it was a lot more about the gym I knew diet played a part in it, but I didn't understand how much. And I would just say educate yourself on basic stuff like calories. I'm sorry, babe, I gotta tell you, calories in, calories out. It's a thing. It's a thing.
My instructor's gonna hate me.
No, sweetie, your instructor's not gonna hate you. You hate you. And that's also not right either.
That again I'll go into in another video, but a lot of my sugar addiction is it's like because I don't know how to cook stuff properly, so I just resort to eating.
That's another thing. So I'm going to come out, I don't know if I would have done it at this point, but a couple of cooking videos, like basic things that I make. I think that's another form of empowerment, and I'm going to go into this whole thing of changing and breaking it down in another video and a lot of other videos. But you want to empower yourself. That comes with knowledge, that comes with, okay, we're not going to eat this, but what are we actually going to replace it with? It's all very fair and good or whatever to be like, I'm not going to eat junk anymore. Yeah, but what are you going to eat? You know, your body's going to be hungry. So we want to talk replacements, healthy swaps. If you're going to take something out, you need to put something in. And I have made this mistake too many times in the past where I'd be like, I'm cutting this out, I'm cutting that out, and yo.
So I just resort to eating carbs and crap. Yeah, I have a bit of an emotional dependency on sugar, like I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I did, and I've come a long way with that. I haven't fully gotten to the bottom of it, but I also think that in this stage where I was, how do I put it? Now, if I feel a really strong emotion and I feel inclined to eat, sometimes I will. I'm not perfect. And it's still, like I said, it's still something I'm figuring out. But my priority truly lies in the overall well-being of myself, and I think that I couldn't see that for myself at that time. And so even if I feel a certain way, I can have a somewhat more balanced thought that comes in and says, okay, well, if you eat a bunch of garbage, you're not only going to feel the initial shittiness of the initial emotion, but then you're also going to feel the shittiness of, oh my god, I'm so full and uncomfortable. And then you're also going to feel the shittiness later down of, oh my god, because of that one emotion and my choice to eat a certain way, I've now eaten that way for 7 consecutive days, and now I'm bloated and I feel even worse and I don't fit into this outfit, or da 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 da, you know. And so I can extrapolate, and that outweighs a lot of the time, that outweighs that impulse to want to consume out of emotion. I'm not saying I get it right all the time, but it was through a lot of trial and error, and it took time for me to realize, like, okay, you feel rubbish, you can choose to do something that's going to make you feel better, or you can choose to do something that's going to make you feel even more rubbish. And so still navigating it, but I would definitely explain that to her, that okay, you feel this emotion, that's valid, that's fair, but there are healthier ways of dealing with things, and if you deal with things in unhealthy ways, it can make your life worse, and it can make things hurt more, and it can make you beat yourself up more in the long run, and you just don't win that way. So show your future self some compassion and just walk away from the food, walk away from the kitchen. You're only human. Go for a walk, put on some music, have a little dance in your room. I'm not saying this always works every single time. Sometimes we just can't. But if you can learn to do that, practice that as an option in your life, it can help you to feel less bound by your emotions and impulses.
Don't deal with my emotions properly, so I just eat instead. Another thing is moderate my social life. I go between extremes of going out, meeting everybody, to being like an absolute hermit and not wanting to interact with the human population at all. I gotta find my balance.
Bullshit, babe. Look, everybody has seasons. It's okay, as long as you're happy. I think if you're socializing to the detriment of your sanity, then, you know, okay, maybe chill a little bit. If you're prioritizing everybody's needs, and sometimes I can be guilty of doing that. Like, this person wants to see me, and it's so flattering. And, you know, sometimes you're like, I prayed for these friends, and now I don't have the energy to see them. And it's like, do what you can within your capacity. Don't beat yourself up if you can't do anymore. It's fine. We have seasons. We're human.
Right. Also, I have this thing called Raynaud's, and I can't really explain it properly, but because I don't exactly understand what it is, but I did homeopathic treatment for that. It's in my hands, and it's like when they go blue, and it's like not even that cold. So I did homeopathic treatment for that, and it's getting better.
It's fixed. It's fixed. I'm really lucky. My Raynaud's, it was actually awful, and it's really funny because at the time I didn't hear many people talking about it. it was painful. I had to wear, guys, I had to wear ski gloves into school because regular gloves didn't cut it. My hands used to swell up in the cold, especially if it was like that damp cold. My hands used to swell up, to get blue. I couldn't write. I was in so much pain. It was really horrible. And like I could feel like my fingers felt crunchy, okay? Homeopathic medicine actually genuinely fixed it. So I'm really grateful to my granddad for helping me with that.
And save money. I'm not like amazing at that, so I'm thinking of investing in a piggy bank.
Girl, just budget. Just budget. I'm still working on it, and honestly this is something that I just started to get down in the last 6 months. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but make an Excel spreadsheet, okay? You're gonna create different columns. I might just come out with a separate video on this, but like it's a basic way. Like, let me put it this way. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You can't expect a different output if you're not changing the input. So there's that. You want to lose weight, but you don't even know how much you weigh right now. So how are you going to figure out what your goal weight is? How are you going to figure out if you've actually lost any weight? Ooh, I feel a bit lighter today. Same thing with money. You want to save, okay, how much money? What does that look like? Break it down. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Doesn't mean that you don't go buy that thing. You want to save money. Okay, what is the choice that you're making that aligns with the intention of, I want to save money? Because if your choices don't align, if your actions don't align with your words, you're chatting shit. It's as plain and simple as that.
If anything, because it's like, if I don't have a goal, I will spend all my money on food.
Okay, to be fair, I don't do that anymore. Or like in recent years, I spent my money on other more interesting things. Typically courses, online education. That's my weakness. Tuition, dance classes, hobbies, gifts for other people, food for other people. That's it. But not food anymore.
Like, my second thing in this is driving. I've been learning driving since 2018. It's about time I passed. Seriously. There are 3 languages that I want to cover this.
So about the driving, at this time, I'd had an instructor and he wasn't that great. He was actually kind of sexist, to be honest. He'd say women are this and women drive like this and da-da-da. How empowering, right? And then I had a conversation with my aunt and she was so sweet and she was like, look, get a different instructor. And I did. And that instructor I started learning with, because at this point COVID hadn't happened, or like it was just starting. And it wasn't until the end of 2020, I think, end of 2020, where I met my new instructor. And when I tell you, this woman was like a life coach. She went through so much with me and she was so patient and amazing and she listened, and she was just wonderful and she spoke so much light into me and she was so patient. Did I say that? Probably. And I used to have this tendency of finding it really hard to concentrate, like naturally, because of how I think. I'm not very like rooted in the physical, I feel like I'm quite away with like emotions and like, not the fairies, but like I'm away. And like if we're driving, it used to be like, oh, the tree's here and this is so pretty. And I just told her, I was like, I really struggle to like stay engaged with what's in front of me. And she didn't judge that. And instead what she said is, okay, I want you to just look down the road and keep asking yourself questions. She said, what's happening around the corner? What can you see over the brow of the hill? Is anyone pulling out? And you would, in asking questions, you keep having to find answers, and it kept me engaged. And she just really found, not just in the car and in relation to driving, but she helped me to find answers for myself. She just guided me a lot, and I just love that. Like, I'm so grateful. She wasn't just a driving instructor. I mean, not saying there's anything wrong with like being a driving instructor, but like to me, she wasn't just my driving instructor. She really was like an angel in so many ways, and we had some great chats, and I'm very grateful for that. So if you're driving instructors, get another one.
This year.
It's your money.
Spanish, which is part of my degree, I am going to aim to be fluent, like properly fluent by the end of the year. Korean, I want to know that by the end of the year. I'm a K-pop fan. Thumbs up if you're a K-pop fan, and don't hate if you are not. Okay, if you don't like, just no. And German, I want to know the basics of German by the end of this year. I really want to.
What? Do you know what is really funny as well? Girl, you had COVID going on. You could have. You really could have. Shame on me. What did I do? I ate. I slept. I got really fat. Oh my god, I listen to her talk. Like, people are like, show compassion towards your younger self, and I'm like, the girl chatting so much shit. I can't. That's a story for another time. Miss Ma'am, it's like I wrote out like a page of intentions, and I just didn't understand. Like, I signed up for the outcome, but it didn't sign up for the work. You dumb bitch. You dumb bitch. I still don't know any of these things. I would still love to learn them, but I recognize like priorities, and Spanish is still something. Like, it's a big goal of mine. It's on my mood, like my vision board for this year. But I cannot afford to prioritize it right now because I have so much else going on, and I'm okay with that. It sucks, but it is what it is. It's going to take work. You need to input something. You need to, even if people say like active manifestation, all that. Okay, well, the version of you that speaks Spanish practices Spanish. Go.
Learn how to read like tarot cards, and like I want to understand chakras and healing and
I still would love to, but again, priorities. How much you want to do in 1 year, girl? How much do you want to do in 1 year? What's that thing where people say we overestimate how much we can do in 1 year, but underestimate how much we can do in 1 day? Something like that, I think. Miss Ma'am.
health and all that.
I also want to say, there was a podcast I listened to a long time ago. I don't know if it was on the Diary CEO. Like, the guest said something like how we think the Monday version of us is just inherently going to be better than the today version of us. Let me put it this way. You want to believe in the best version of you. You want to believe in the best version of you. You want to believe in the best of humanity. But you also want to understand and accommodate for the worst version of you, because they too will show up in life. What's your bare minimum? What are the three non-negotiables that you want to achieve this year? Because let me tell you, life will life. You're not a robot. Like, Jesus. And if you can just learn to show up for the things that are most important to you, you will respect yourself. Your head will not be in a tizzy. I had all these things, but no clear map on how I was actually going to do these things. And anyone that has achieved anything in life will tell you, you need to break it down. You need to have smart goals to some extent. As in, don't be a dumb motherfucker.
Stuff, it's really cool, and maybe when I have some time, like in the summer or something, I'd like to cover that and become a full-on nerd about all of that stuff. I think that would be really cool.
That would be nice. I would still love to be a nerd about that. But again, priorities.
That's gossip. Now, please don't think I'm a gossipy bitch. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think since I started achieving less in my life, since I started not prioritizing my goals as much, I made too much time for listening to people's crap. And I shouldn't have, because it's negativity. And I just, like, why focus on that stuff? Like, no, I don't want to make time for that. I don't want to listen to negativity. Like, no. It lowers my vibration. Don't need any of that. Time.
I was still very much into like vibration and stuff, and I still think vibration is quite important. I do, but in terms of like law of attraction, law of assumption, it's not important. I'm proud of her for saying that. Good. That's very self-aware of you. Don't engage in that. And I think I've done a good job. Where I work with a lot of people, and there would be many opportunities for me to engage. The only time that I step in and I listen is if it could have some sort of impact on my well-being, or it's just something that I should watch out for in somebody else. And I always take any sort of gossip with a pinch of salt, and I like to trust my own judgment of people rather than other people's Chinese whispers. I'll listen, and if there's repetition in something, then obviously that might influence my opinion. But at the end of the day, if my experience has been something with somebody and I understand them, then who cares what so-and-so is saying? I think it's just a matter of integrity and what you choose to entertain. Your energy is precious, and the less you sort of flit, out. I don't know how to explain it, but like, you open an app like social media. The more times you do that during the day, your attention, right, is your currency. You keep switching off. This person says this, that person. Where is your focus? And I like to keep my mind as mission-oriented as possible. I think that's just healthier for me, and I just think it's healthier for people in general. Don't engage in stuff that's just not good for your mind. it's like junk. I don't want that.
Time management. Oh my god, that is one of the reasons I get no sleep. I need to work on managing my time. Big time. Things that kind of come under that.
Okay, so time management is something that I still struggle with, but in a different way. I think I've come a long way. Back then I wasn't prioritizing it at all, really. I didn't understand the consequence of being late. And with time, I've realized, like, it's just rude. You know, it's not nice to do that to somebody, especially if somebody you care about, it's just somebody has made that commitment to be there on time and they make the effort to stress out and be there on time and you're just not. So I've learned the importance of it. And also being a working woman now, I see how it's important. I'd say the reason I still struggle with it is just because I like to do the most. I am always trying to be here, there, and everywhere. That's why I struggle with it. But that being said, I've learned the importance of why it's important to be on time. And the biggest tip that I could give you guys is if you struggle to be on time, let me ask you this. What's the difference between the person that is on time versus the person who is late? The person who is on time aims to be early, and the person who is late aims to be on time. Aim to be early. It'll fix a lot of your problems.
That showering early, because when I shower late, then there's no hot water in the morning for anybody else, and it's like a bit of a nightmare. Another thing I've written down is dreamland, and I know that sounds a bit like what? When I can't deal with my reality, because it's like stressing me out, I like disappear into what could have been, or what alternate realities there could be, or I just like, I start daydreaming, and I could stay there for hours, because I'm like, I just can't deal with my reality, and it's so stupid. I don't deal with the problem in front of me. So that is something I want to work on. Confronting my problem and fixing it.
So funny, like there's so much that overlap between how she talks. It's really strange to me. Like, I was 19. Holy crap. And in so many ways, like in the way that I express myself, I'm like, I am her, she's me. And I'm like, oh God, I hope I like grow even more. Like 5 years from now, I don't want to feel so similar to my younger self because I don't really want to associate with her too much. I don't like her that much, but yeah, I mean, I care for her, but I don't want to fuck with her too much. She wouldn't be a good influence on me. Dreamland is something that I've definitely calmed down with. I don't do it as much anymore. I think I was avoiding a lot in my life. I think that I was also afraid and I was people pleasing, especially people pleasing with my parents a lot. So I just wasn't, it was natural for me to want to run from things. The only way is through, and it's gonna suck and it's hard and it's scary, yeah. But like I said, feel the fear and do it anyway. Because at the end of the day, it's you with you. And there is no richer feeling in this world than when you respect yourself. The stuff you do when no one else is watching, when it's just you with you, and you're not trying to show anything on social media, that is a type of feeling that only you can give yourself. And that comes through doing difficult things. You don't get to say, oh, I know who I am. You don't get the confidence to say no to people or to draw lines like boundaries if you do not go through difficult things with yourself, irrespective of your sex or gender. So you need to sit down and you need to put your distractions away and get a piece of paper, even, pencil, pen, and write down the first few things that come to mind that scare you. Why are you entering dreamland? Why are you scrolling for hours? Why are you doing everything under the sun besides that thing? And just get really honest with yourself. The empowerment you feel being on the other side of something that felt impossible, it's not something I can explain to you. You have to go through it yourself. And one of my favorite things to live by is do the impossible. Now, I don't mean necessarily literally, but what feels impossible for someone like you, what feels impossible in, I guess, to the version of you that, you know, you've not been stretched this much. And then you put yourself in a situation where you're like, I can't meet the terms and conditions, but you have to. forcing myself to face difficult things, go through them, and just deal with the big monsters under the bed is what got me to stop escaping. And the other thing, you know, this dreamland that I speak of, I mentioned it a little on this channel, and I have been there a couple of times. And for me, I realized it was, you know, it was a way of me coping when life felt really overwhelming and I felt like I couldn't deal. And it's amazing how vivid I can make my imagination. But I get to the end of the story, whatever narrative I created in my head, the happily ever after, whatever bullshit, and it felt flat. It felt flat. So if you deal with this as well, like, play it out if you have the time to, and get to the end. How do I even explain it? It's like reading the last chapter of the book, or like reading the beginning, feeling the build up, and then not going through the difficulty of it and just reading the end. It's like when someone tells you, like, gives you spoilers, and you're like, you know? I mean, not that I know, I watch shows and all of that stuff, but I know people don't like spoilers a lot of the time. It's kind of like you realize the whole point is the day-to-day. The whole point is the difficulty. You can hop, skip, jump to the end all you like, but we're not meant to know because, yes, okay, you know, we want some certainty. That would help us to feel some peace. But at the same time, it's the uncertainty as well that makes life exciting. It's the discovery of ourselves. It's the discovery of what life is to us. It's the discovery of our journey. And so usually I would play it out, get to the end of Dreamland, and then I would realize, wait, there's nothing left. There's just this in front of me. I need to come back to this, you know, and I need to keep building. And it's hard, yes, and it's scary, but if I'm going to stay dreaming, I may as well be in a coma. You know, I may as well be dead, but I'm not. I'm here, I'm alive. And yes, it's scary, it's difficult, but it's also a privilege to be here, so let's make the most of it. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but you get to the end of it and you're like, well, it's just flat. It doesn't feel full. It doesn't feel full. Because what makes life rich is the ups and downs. You know, the happy ending, if you will, of the story is so great because of the journey. It wouldn't be the same without it. And so realizing that as well has really helped me to stop with that habit.
Read 6 books. I'm not a natural reader. If I do read, it's more like non-fiction. I've started working on a few books, but that's the thing. I like pick up loads of books. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is interesting. And I never finish anything. So I want to finish 6 books.
Okay, very common habit actually for a lot of people. I did continue that habit for a long time, and in some ways I still have got that habit, but actually not because I don't like to read. I've gotten better. I used to feel really intimidated by a book. Nowadays, not so much. I think I also used to put pressure on myself to memorize everything in a book. It's okay if you can't. Sometimes people are really intense like that, and you know what? My study brain is reserved for my degree. Outside of that, like the podcast and everything, I listen to it casually. You know, everything has to be like a fucking essay, okay? So I stopped putting pressure on myself regarding that. The other thing is Audible. Not sponsored, obviously, but listening helped so much. It helped me to not feel, again, intimidated by books. It helped me to realize that actually I can retain information, and it also worked for me and my lifestyle. I walk, I drive, I don't really have time to sit down and read. And so if you're someone that's busy and you want to read, I would actually recommend audiobooks, so just audio information. It'll be very helpful.
And that doesn't include BTS photo books. I've written down Skillshare and Mindvalley, so you guys, I mean, you've seen YouTube videos, you've seen probably sponsored videos of Skillshare. I don't exactly know what it is. It seems really cool, and I want to learn stuff, but maybe I'll learn like tarot card stuff on there. I don't know, I'll figure it out. And the other thing written down is Mindvalley, so if you haven't heard of Mindvalley, check them out, Google them. If you have an hour, they have some like...
Check them out, Google them.
3-hour talk things. I just like it. It's very focused around personal growth, and I love that type of stuff. Chores. So when you live with people, even when you live with yourself, if you want to live clean, tidy, you gotta do chores. It's not that I hate doing chores, it's just that I don't do them consistently.
Yeah, that's thoroughly been fixed. It's actually not that bad. You know, you just break it up, clean the sink today, clean the toilet tomorrow, maybe do a deep clean every like 2-3 weeks, whatever, you know, just break it up, break it down, and you realize that it actually doesn't take much time. And if you dread chores, blast some music. It'll help.
Though, in saying that, I've been good recently.
And also, if you want, like, use the incentive of not wanting to live in a dirty space as your push. You know, I don't want to live in dirt. I don't want to live in filth. Like, there have been times where, like, my makeup is all over the sink and my hair is shed and, like, I've been dyeing my hair as well. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't be feeling myself. So, you know, you just clean it up and then just break it up, you'll be fine.
I want to get to like hoovering more often. I already do the dishwasher, so that's great. But I want to learn how to do the laundry. And
yeah, I did do that.
I'm learning how to cook. That kind of ties in with the like health and fitness trust.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's okay. If you can follow, like if you can read and you can kind of follow instructions, you'll be fine.
I've been forced to kind of learn to cook. So I know how to grill chicken and I'm so proud of myself.
So cute.
And then sorting a mess out under my desk, which I actually did the other day. On the bed.
I love how I'm like, oh, I've already achieved a couple of things. Bitch, you tidied your room and you took some medication.
Living creatively. I feel like the less creativity is in my life, the more depressed I get. Like, okay, I shouldn't say depressed like that. But like, I get low, I get sad because I need creativity. I think a lot of people need that. So my channel, okay.
That's interesting. I don't really know what I meant by creativity. Like, what was I doing that was not creative? I don't know. I don't know what I meant by that, but I think I meant some sort of like stuff where I'm being autonomous in what it is I want to create in life. So I think I got there. I think we're doing okay. What do you guys think?
Need a tissue. Okay, we're good. So, another thing is dance covers. Whose car alarm is going off?
So unhinged.
Can you guys hear that?
Yes. My brows are so different as well. It took me a long time to figure out what to do. I mean, I'm not perfect. I think I overdid it today with my brows, but like I went through a whole phase of like having really thick eyebrows. And then one of my colleagues, she was always like, she told me the truth, and not even in a nice way. She was this Polish lady, and she just one day, like she always, to be fair, she did tell me the truth. Like if I didn't get the truth, I wouldn't have changed. But like I had orange foundation once, and she's like, I can see a line, like in front of all of my customers. Like she just told me that, yeah. And there was another day, like she told me my brows were too big for my face, and then I made my brows like skinny as anything, and anyway.
Okay, it's gone now. Great! Alright, so, dance covers. I love to dance. Absolutely love it. I've always loved it. And I have never studied it or anything like that. I never did it at school.
You did study it. I did Kathak. So Kathak is an Indian classical dance. I did that from the age of 7 through to 21. So I did study some dance, just not the tradition, like not like a commercial Western type, if you will.
But like I said, I like K-pop, so hopefully you guys will see some dance covers.
So actually at this time, I had just gotten into a K-pop dance competition at my old university, and I'm so glad that I did. I'm really so glad that I did. I auditioned for it in December 2019, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Unfortunately, we couldn't compete because of COVID, but we had like the most beautiful outfits, and we created such a good dance. We did really, really good, and I actually met one of my best friends there as well. So that was, yeah, no regrets.
I'll just be doing it for fun, and yeah, I love to bake cakes and cookies and stuff as well, which is great for the diet, like absolutely fab. But I actually,
babes, bake them for other people for their birthdays, and then just keep 1 or 2, so that way you get the flavor for it, you get to try it, but you're not stuck with a giant batch of stuff at your house.
I haven't been baking so much recently, and I want to experiment a bit more, you know, like
I've done that.
Stop just making random Victoria sponge cakes with like green food coloring. Go a little bit more crazy, but like mature crazy. And I want to keep a dream journal. I know that's really random.
Bitch, who has time? I do have crazy dreams, but I don't have time for that.
But I have the craziest dreams, like
yes.
Absolutely mental. I kept having recurring dreams about it, like it was so freaky, like it the clown. But like I want to keep a dream journal. Yeah, I'll write my dreams, not the nightmares. And then the big...
It's such a cute idea, like in theory. And you know what, maybe like one day when I have kids, I'll get them to keep a dream journal just for them, you know. But for me, I don't have time. With everything else I do, I don't have time. But I really would love to do it still. But I really don't have time.
Biggest thing that I hope to achieve this year is a mindset shift. It's literally, it's self-explanatory. It is my
Oh, what?
mindset. It's how I approach things, how I feel about things, and how I feel about myself. Yeah,
Okay.
a little deep, I know. Number one, stop getting in the way of myself. I overthink a lot and I don't live in the present. Sometimes I need people to like slap me in the face and be like, yo, come back here and fix your like, calm down, you're good, you got this. Knowing it's not...
Interesting. What did it say? Calm down, you got this?
Like, calm down, you're good, you got this.
That's interesting. It sounds like my anxious brain was probably taking over. I think one of the quickest things that helps me with presence is truly gratitude. Truly. Realizing this moment isn't going to come back. I have a lot of that. Like, I was doing my makeup and I could just like hear my parents in the background downstairs, and I was like, what a privilege it is, you know, to live at home with the safety of my parents. And you know, I always like, I bring myself back to today. And I think in terms of anxiety, which is kind of what this sounds like, especially with what I deal with, which is social anxiety, I always try to bring my focus back to how lucky am I that this person is here and they want to say hello to me. And I get to talk to this person and I get to be here today. I get to communicate. Because the thing is, you have no idea how many people are dealing with loneliness. They only talk to their local barista the whole day. That is the only person they talk to. Or they only talk to their carer. It's a privilege to be able to make random conversation with somebody. And so I always try and bring my focus back to how lucky am I? And that can really help. I'm not saying I always get it right, but that this is truly what I do. So if you struggle with presence, give that a go.
Knowing it's not...
And just also like soaking in the moment. So I know in anxiety, in counseling, they tend to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can smell, that type of that type of thing. I don't necessarily structurally look at it like that. Sometimes I do, especially if I'm at work and I'm dealing with anxiety. But for me, like I said, like this isn't going to come back. So if we're sitting now, for example, I could see the sunlight coming in, casting like a beautiful shadow across my giant teddy bear. This giant teddy bear that my ex got me, the love that he and I used to have, and how he gave this to me with such good intentions, because I'd always said that I wanted a giant teddy bear, you know. And I've got this like fluffy pillow because I was redesigning my room, and I look around my room and I'm like, I've poured so much intention and thought into my interior decor, and you know, I made this my safe haven, and I'm so proud of it and what it looked like before. And you know, when I moved back home from university, how much of a mess it was, and how I personally steamed the carpets and painted the walls and da 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 da. And I'm here, and I get to film, and I get to do what I love and share my lessons that I've learned, and I get to look at my old self, and I have a computer that I can do that on, you know, like really just like really getting into the moment, you know.
Knowing it's okay to not be okay. I don't ask for help. Somebody could help me. Like, you know, just going and get the help. Going and getting the help that I need. That's something I really need to work on. Like, if you can't, you know, if you're hating on yourself, if you're being mean to yourself, if you know, are really unhappy, it's going to be really hard to pursue what it is that you want to go after, because you're already having to deal with all of that. Stop worrying about...
Yeah, very valid. I think the best way I can describe this in terms of an analogy is when you're working in a team, it can be very easy to butt heads. But as a team, in order to avoid that or overcome major conflict, what you want is the shared value of a specific outcome that is, I don't know if I'm articulating myself well, but the shared value of we want to create the best product possible is essential. Essentially what I'm trying to say is that your desire for your outcome, or your desire for wanting to see that goal come into fruition, should override any embarrassment you have of looking like an idiot in the process. What is your priority here, right? You don't want to ask for help. Why? because it will make you look like this, because it makes you seem weak, because it makes you seem like you don't know. Okay, yes, potentially. But you will stay truly looking stupid, not knowing any better, not knowing more, whatever, with unresolved shit if you don't do anything about it. So you have got to want what you want more than you are afraid of being perceived a certain way, or afraid of having to, like, I guess, break down. You want to want what you want more than wanting to protect your ego, if that makes sense. Goal over ego, okay? Outcome over, well, it will make me be like this, and what if this, and what if that? What do you want? That should supersede, surpass everything else. And I think it was the Wizard Liz that said this in one of her videos, which was, you say you don't want help, we all accept help from each other. I can't remember the example she gave, but like, you know, the bus driver that drives you to school, or the food delivery person that brings you food, you know, we're an ecosystem. There's no shame in asking for help. It's all well and good to want to do things on your own, and in many ways I have, and there are certain things in your life you will inherently have to do alone. But to be able to walk with others, it's beautiful, and I don't underestimate it. I'm still guilty of doing, not necessarily the asking for help thing, I get a lot more help now. I got CBT to help with my thoughts so that I could be kinder to myself and stop standing in my own way so much. But in many ways, you know, I'm still very independent. I like to know that, no, this is me. I got myself through this on my own, because if I can get through this on my own, then when I have people, I'll be even stronger. But the difference, for example, I use the gym as a metaphor for so much, but when you are doing a set and, you know, you're getting yourself through it, maybe you've had a really tough week or whatever, and you get yourself through it, amazing, pride, pat on the back. But I've had moments where I've had a little social interaction with somebody. They've come up to me, they've asked me how my day is, they gas me up a little bit, you know, and they're like, you're really lovely, or you're really cool. They say something, or maybe I get a compliment. There was a time last year, I still remember, I got a compliment from one of my colleagues that I just met, and she said something like, you're really beautiful, you're a really beautiful person. Oh my God. The way I hit that next set, not that I asked for help, but what I'm saying is that positivity that other people can bring you is very powerful. Yes, you want to be able to do things on your own. Yes, you want to be able to count on yourself. Yes, there will be certain things that only you can get yourself through. But for little things, if you're not asking for help because you're afraid to look stupid, babe, we all started somewhere. We all need each other. It's okay. People want to help as well. And it doesn't just feel good for you, because you can get information. Say you don't ask for help. Fine. It could take you 5 years to get the knowledge that you could have gained from just one conversation, from somebody who's been through it, done it, and can tell you. So you get the benefit of that. They get the benefit of the happy hormones released in helping you. We are meant to serve each other. That's what community is. Ask for help. Your future self will thank you.
Stop worrying about messing up, and knowing that I don't have to start things out perfect. That goes for YouTube as well. Like, I'm so concerned about trying to be politically correct, or like trying to be on my best behavior, or making sure my first YouTube video is perfect. Like, I literally tidied my room for you guys. Like, I've been wanting to do YouTube since summer last year, and I just haven't, out of fear, but also, like, you know, fear of just not being good enough. And that's what I've written next, is knowing I'm good enough.
Ooh, girls deep. So I love this example. I think I heard it from the Hormozis first. It's about clay pots. I don't know where the initial thing came from, but I won't reference the original source because I don't remember it, but I got it from the Hormozis. So there was something, like some study or something like that, and they had this group of people, and they split the group into 2 groups, and then they said to the first group that we want you to make the most perfect clay pot. And then they said to the other group, we want you to make like 100 or 1,000 clay pots. And then at the end of this study, they assessed who made the most perfect clay pot, something like that. The latter group did. Why? Because they were willing to come out with multiple iterations that were imperfect. And I don't even know how to explain it, but basically, in the messiness of it, in the repetition, in the trial and error, they were able to realize what went right, what went wrong, and thus eventually create the perfect clay pot through their mistakes, right? Whilst the first group was so focused on getting that first pot right that they were nowhere near the second group by the end of it. I can't explain it as well as how Moses did. Similarly, there was a podcast I listened to recently, Naval Ravikant on modern wisdom, and it was a similar thing, and he used the term iteration. Chris Williamson and he were talking about hours, that 1,000-hour theory, I think. You know, how many hours you need to put into something to make it excellent. And Naval said something about how it's not necessarily repetitions that you want as much as it is iterations. Go in, rep one. Try and get your form right. Don't stress it too much though. Just do your best. Do your best with what you have right now. That's all you can do. You don't know what you don't know till you try. Okay? Do your best with rep one. What felt right? What felt a bit strange? What needs adjusting? Try again. Did that go right? What's the feedback? Try again. I worked as a barista for 5 years, and honey, I didn't even drink coffee. I did not even drink coffee for the longest time, but I learned through the feedback I got, through watching, through practicing again and again and again. What went right? What went wrong? Was the cup too hot? Did I burn the coffee this time? What can I do to make sure I don't burn it? Within 3 or 4 years, I was the best barista, or one of the best there. Why? Because I practiced. Because with each rep, I aimed to get better and better and better and better and better and better. Don't aim for perfect. What the fuck is don't aim for perfect on rep one. Aim for as good as you can do on rep one. Perfect will come with time. Perfect is a byproduct of your attention. Choosing to come back and try again and try again and try again and try again. Take feedback, try again. Take feedback, try again. That worked last time, but it didn't work this time. Why not? Okay, let's tweak this. Try again. You will never gain any confidence in trying to make the perfect coffee when you don't even drink coffee, and you might get beginner's luck, but let it be messy. Let it not really make sense. Let it be a little chaotic. It's okay. Everybody was a beginner once. And this is your journey as well. Jen Gottlieb, I don't know how you pronounce her name. Jen Gottlieb, she said, don't compare your chapter 0 to somebody else's chapter 20. So what, they're there. That's great, amazing. Take inspiration, take it as evidence that you can also do the same thing. But now let's come back to you. If you keep looking at where they are, honey, you're going to trip over your own feet. Focus on you. Where are you in your journey? This is your timeline. Your timeline. That's specific to you. What can you do with where you are right now, who you are right now, and what you have? If you're making the best of that, then there is no competition. It's not about other people. It's about where you are and what you're doing today. Get today right. Get this rep right. The rest will play out with time. I'm going to bring in something else here, but you know how they say, oh, it's not so much about the end, it's about the journey, it's about who you become along the way. People underestimate the reward there is in character. A few years ago, I got my dream body. I wanted a bit more butt, I'm not gonna lie, and a little more muscle tone, but I got skinny. I got like the VS skinny I wanted. It didn't come through that much hard work. I worked hard in the gym, but I didn't change my diet, I didn't change my lifestyle habits, nothing like that. I just went to the gym and did classes, and I enjoyed the classes, it was great. It was good for that time, it worked, and it taught me a lot. But my character didn't really change. You will see more of this in the rest of my channel. Gained weight, went through some stuff. Last year I decided to work with a trainer, and I was like, that's it, I really want to change my body, I want to get my dream physique. It has been hard. I'm still doing it. But I've never respected myself more regarding this. the character you gain along the way is also the return. That too is the product of the iterations. You become more focused. You see how much you can commit. And that is something no one can take away from you. You see your dedication. You see your shadow side. You see it all. You see every side of yourself. The version of you that wants to give up, the version of you that's all in and excited about it, the version of you that's motivated, the version of you that's somewhere in between, the version of you that is there after you've failed but still can't quit. That's a relationship you build with yourself. That too is the reward. People place too much emphasis, I place too much emphasis on this perfect outcome. Don't worry about the perfect outcome. Think about today, think about the rep, think about who you're going to be at the end of the day. Think about the peace you have when you lie down in bed at the end of the day with your head on that pillow and it's just you and your thoughts. What can you do with today? I wish I'd spent more time thinking about that than dreaming about some fantasy physique. If you do what you can today, that's a pride no one can take away from you.
Like, it's okay to, you know, not be the best when you first start. I just want to be the best me. I want to be the best version of me that I can be. Something that ties in with the asking for help thing is not moping. So, like, I shouldn't mope because I tend to do that and then go into this, like, this dark cloud, like, hovering over me. But then I can do that, but then I can also put on a facade that I'm all good and I'm chill and here, come cry on my shoulder. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. Use both my shoulders. Flipping drench my shirt in your tears. Go for it. I will pretend like everything is okay, and I need to stop doing that. It's okay to be vulnerable and let people know that you're not great. So that's something.
Time and place, I would definitely say. If you're working, you know, if you're in a customer-facing environment, which is pretty much all I know, you don't need to be telling your customers about whatever's been going on with you at home. I mean, it depends on the vibe, I guess. And, you know, if you're regulars, then maybe it's a bit different. But, you know, if it's like a thing where you're just first meeting them, maybe not. Maybe not. Don't turn every customer into your therapist. Perhaps if it's a team, you know, time and place. Context, I guess it's maturity. That made me realize, like, you don't have to be one extreme or the other. The other side of it is, this is humanity. This is humanity. There is a beauty in humanity. There is a beauty. I mean, I'm not saying that it's beautiful to suffer. No, but it's life. Find people, you know, I think I must have meant in the context of friends. Not everyone needs to know your business. I think that just being able to say, you know what, I'm having a bit of a shit one, but I'm going to be okay. That was something I didn't really know at the time. I think that I just kind of felt like it was one or the other. And it's like, you can be, happy, hurting, and healing at the same time. You can also be struggling with something, but choose to take actions that are not associated with your struggling. You can be having a hard time, but you can still choose to think positively about as much as you can. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but I think I was struggling with vulnerability at that time, and I think that's why I put it that way as well. It was just like, I'm overly relying on myself, and I'm not expressing with my friends as much as I should. I'm not leaning on them, and I can definitely say I've come a long way with that. It's a journey. I think I learned to open up, I learned to express, and I think myself and my friends, we definitely went through that. We were just sad and we were just going through things, and then with time we realized, like, okay, we can be sad and go through things. There can be shittiness and there can also be goodness at the same time, and it took a minute to sort of find that in the middle, that equilibrium. And there are going to be times where you're giving 6 and they're giving 4, you're giving 3 and they're giving 7, and, you know, realizing that this is all part of it, and it's just communicating along the way, and it's realizing there's going to be good bits, there's going to be shitty bits, there's going to be all of it, and that you need to find people around you that you can share that with. I think that's the key, rather than trying to be overly stoic for the people that you should be able to feel safe with, but also not compromising professionalism just because you feel a certain type of way, you know? It's life. It's life. You don't need to perform, not in front of the people that you care about the most, and vice versa.
I want to increase my filter of negativity and stress. So when I was really little, I was so good at just filtering out like that stressy type of stuff outside in the world. Whereas recently, I feel like I'm a lot more susceptible to that type of stuff. Oh, the electricity's come back on because the Wi-Fi's working. Sorry, I'm getting all these notifications. The electricity went out. I was genuinely thinking that we'd have to go like raw vegan.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're trying to be funny. Shut up.
Oh, good. Okay, the Wi-Fi's working. I'll stop sidetracking. So, what was I saying? Yes, as I was saying, I know obviously as you get older and you start living more of an adult life, not saying I'm all the way there yet, trust me, I'm not. I live with my parents, like, you know, it's like flipping luxury. Yeah, as you get older, you can stress more because you have more responsibility, but I feel like for me, I choose to stress. Naturally, I'm quite a calm person. Well, my friends might disagree with me, but like, I like to think I'm a calm person, right? And I choose to stress. I'm like, could I think about this logically and approach this calmly? Or should I stress? And I choose stress because it's easier and it seems like a more normal thing to do. So I want to work on that. I want to work on being calm.
So my ex actually helped me with this a lot. He said everything with a calm mind. And through him, I learnt that. And he also used to joke, we have two ears for a reason, in through one ear, out the other. And that did help with a lot of things. You know, when you're just in a situation where you can't control the BS coming your way and you just kind of have to be in that environment, that helps. Working where I work also helps. Customer service, customer facing, sorry, very busy. And the thing is, you know, stress is going to come up. There are a couple of things I want to say. Stress is going to come up. At the end of the day, you want a solution. Now, you can either get a solution through stress, sweating, panicking, potentially creating a mess because you're reacting to everything around you, you're not fully listening because you're da 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 da. Or you could take a breath, you'd be like, it is what it is, handle it. I don't feel like I can handle it. I can't handle it, I can't handle it, I can't handle it. Ah! Handle it. Cry about it later. Handle it. It's valid to feel stress, but should you let it dictate your actions after the initial cause? No. If you can help it, no. The other thing I like to remember is that, you know, so with that, quickly to finish up with that, those are the two ways you can find a solution. And the first one, you can create a mess, you can be messy, you know, you're just there, then you have to deal with the aftermath, you have to deal with more. You have to deal with potentially hurt feelings as well, even more hurt feelings. It doesn't help. The second thing, I always wanted to kind of have a more, like, I guess, meditative mind. Like something, you know, I just wanted to be calm. Like no matter what came my way, I wanted to be able to be like, zen. And it was really funny because I think I heard Jay Shetty talk about it once where he was in monk training. And I think he was on a train or something, he was at a train station. And when he was talking about this, I was like, I think I know where you're going with this. And I had this intuition, thankfully, at a young age to realize this. But he shared his story and he said, you know, I think it was like a really busy train station. And he said to his coach or his teacher or something that, you know, I can't concentrate on my meditation. We need to go to somewhere more quiet. And his coach slash teacher said to him, well, if you can't, I mean, it's all well and good to be able to meditate in a calm, quiet environment, but if there's any place you're going to learn how to calm yourself and be still within yourself, it's here. It's in the busyness and it's in the madness of it all. And I knew this when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I'm talking about how I used to be calm as a kid and that filter. It was because I recognized that, you know, we can all feel some level of calm and peace when there's quiet. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. But the real strength and the real mental ability is built when it's not easy. I think it's quite funny because one of my favorite podcasts that I just listened to, I love it when Williamson and Hormozi get together. It's just like one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. One of my guilty pleasures. I mean, not even guilty, just like, oh, I love it. And in the recent one that I listened to, it was like, I think it was like a 4-hour episode. Thank you. Thank you for blessing my ears and my brain and my spirit and my soul. You too. Thank you. And I think it was in that where Hormozi talked about wanting to get into wanting to get into meditation, and I think he touched on a similar thing, or one of them did, and they talked about that, how it's easy to achieve that calm and that peace when you're in a tranquil environment, but it's when you're in the busyness and the madness of it all that it really kind of counts. And so that's the other thing I tell myself is like, look, yes, it's hard, yes, it's stressful, yes, this is going on, that is going on, but that's the test. That's the test. There was a video that Simone Squared, I can't remember which channel it was, she came out with a while ago. And I think she was talking about healing. And one of the things she said in that, which was so true, is I think something like we overcomplicate healing. And healing is really just the test of how do you deal with the situation now. So this is how it happened in the past. This is who you were in the past. This is how you dealt with it. You want to heal? Here. Take the same situation in a different font. Heal. Make a different choice. It's in that conflict where we can achieve peace.
Holding myself accountable so other people don't have to. Now, obviously, I'm putting myself on YouTube right now. You guys are probably going to hold me accountable to some extent.
Yeah, no, I only had like 2 subscribers, but that's cute.
If you watch this video, if you keep watching me, the people around me kind of know what I'm up to in terms of my goals and stuff. But I don't want to give everybody, because the more information you give people, the more they feel like they have a right to poke.
It's true. There's some power in privacy for sure.
If you know what I mean. And give you their advice. And though I appreciate that in some situations, with my goals, I need to know that it was because of me. It was because of my motivation. It was because of my drive, and not because anybody else was sitting on my head telling me to do it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think if you struggle with that, I mean, that's one of the reasons I deactivated Instagram quite recently. I'm back on it now, but I'm not posting a lot of my body because one of the biggest goals I'm working on is my physique. And if I start posting stuff, I know I'm going to get compliments. And I think it could very easily distract from how good I want it to get. You know, if I'm already feeling like I'm winning right now with social approval, what's my incentive to carry on? And on a weekday, if I've got this applause coming in over here, so what? Let's throw in the towel for a day or 2 or 5 weeks. You know what I mean? So I think that's a nice approach, is, limit how much you're sharing if you feel like it's going to distract from your own accountability. It's really a person-to-person thing and a goal-to-goal thing, what you want to share. I think there are some goals where you can really benefit from sharing. I think, for example, in overall goals, not everyone, you can kind of judge, like some people are small-minded, they are very judgmental, they want to see you be torn down. You can see it in the way that they talk about other people, how quick they are to chat shit, quite honestly. You don't want to be talking to people like that about your big dreams and goals, but when you talk to people that are, if you put it out there, you're talking to somebody charismatic, or you're putting it where your brand is. Like if I was here and I said, okay, well, you know what, guys, this is my overall mission, someone could see that and then could provide me with opportunity. But when it comes to the smaller day-to-day things, perhaps the tougher things where there aren't necessarily other people involved, or it's not really a matter of opportunity, then there's no harm in keeping that to yourself. And I think if especially your society or environment is quite judgmental, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. What's that? Work hard in silence, and let success be your noise.
Don't look towards other people to validate me, and knowing that I don't owe random people answers. Kind of self-explanatory again. Sometimes I get myself in a really shitty situations where strangers will just be super friendly, and I will tell them all of my information, and then I'll leave the conversation feeling so vulnerable and exposed.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's because I was a dumb idiot and I told them my life story.
Yeah. This one, I mean, obviously I made a lot of progress, especially also being in my job. Let me put it this way. You don't owe everybody an explanation. You don't, random strangers don't deserve your information. I think a lot of this was also to do with the fact that I was raised to be kind, which in itself is not a problem, but I think it was also realizing, I had to learn it myself, that just because you were taught to be kind, it doesn't mean that you should sacrifice yourself for the sake of kindness, especially for random people and random men. And I think it was also just a woman thing, where I felt like I had to be nice. You don't have to be nice. You can be a bitch. It doesn't mean being nasty. You can be courteous, you can hold a door, you can say yes, you can say no. But you don't have to entertain dodgy energy. You truly don't. Just because someone's asking you a bunch of questions, it doesn't mean you need to answer them. The situation I was referring to actually was, I was coming back, I think, from the shops on the train, and this group of drunk men got on the train and they started asking me questions. Now, maybe they didn't have any malicious intent. I mean, they didn't do anything physically, but they were asking me about what school I went to, what I did, what hobbies, I can't remember, but, you know, whereabouts I lived. And I got off that train and I just felt like, oh my God, I've given all this information away. It taught me, you know, what I didn't want, what I didn't like, how unsafe it made me feel. You can just say, that's private. Or you can just ignore where you can, you know, within reason, but just for the most part, I think I would have benefited from someone just telling me that. I mean, that being said, I still had to go through it, I had to learn it, but you don't owe people nice. You owe yourself safety. Call Her Daddy podcast, I remember that clip. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Hailey Bieber answers a question about her sex life. We could all tell she was kind of uncomfortable about that. If it's private and it's personal to you, you don't need to talk about it. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just your personal boundary that makes you feel comfortable and safe. And you can just say, I'm not comfortable talking about it. I'll say, you know, sometimes it takes these situations for us to realize, oh, that is actually a boundary. I never want that to happen again. It takes the situations for us to realize that. But forearmed or forewarned is forearmed. You know, if you're in a situation, if that happens to you guys, if you can, remember, if you can walk away, walk away. You know, if you say, I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood to talk right now. That's it, you know, it's okay. Let there be silence. Let the other person sit and twiddle their thumbs. What's it to you? You know? Because what's the alternative? They prod and they poke and listen, especially, I will tell you, being a woman, men will test your boundaries. Recently I was at work and there was somebody there, there was, how do I describe it without going into too much context? This person that I had seen once before, I spoke to them, we had a little, it was just friendly banter, and then they come over and they start getting a little too friendly. They start looking at my name, they get a little close in my space, they start cracking a few too many jokes, and just with me, they kind of start, when they move around me, they're kind of putting me a bit in a corner. I flipped. Did I say anything rude? No. But did I continue to be friendly and warm and initiate? No. I took my energy away. This person told me at some point, not that I asked, not that I flirted, no, that their wife had passed away sometime. And, you know, I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I was careful with how I said it. I'm so, none of that, because I'm not trying to give you any vibes. But I was civil, I was normal, I was colleague-like. When I noticed things were getting a little, that's it, you don't get my energy, bye, yeah. Nice, straightforward, we'll do our job, I'll do what I need to do, but you're not getting excess smiles from me. You're not going to get me initiating, you're not going to get me being friendly and cool and casual with you the way I am with everyone. You're not going to get that. And I want you to realize that as a woman, you can give your energy, you can equally take it away. It's yours. It's yours. It took me a while to get there. But you don't need them to like you. You can stay respectful, you don't have to say anything. But they'll know, because you're not looking their way. You're not going to hold their eye contact. You're not going to entertain this weird funniness. They want to come over and get a little friendly, learn a little bit more about you. Keep it short and sweet. Don't give them extra. Don't give them other stuff to bite into. Oh, really? Tell me more. Don't tell them more. But yeah, that's it. Yep. Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know this thing there, but that's it. Yeah. Don't add more information in. Don't feed into it. They'll pick it up eventually. I just needed to go in a sidetrack for that because safety.
I gotta work on the drawing a line between what you tell your friends and family and what you tell random strangers. I'm not giving out my bank details and stuff, but I need to stop eating my frustrations. I've already kind of touched on that a little bit. The best way that I can fix that is to make myself happy with things and fix the problems around me and make sure that I'm happy and that other things are fulfilling me so that food doesn't have.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Stay busy. If you have happiness in your life, if you are, especially for example, dopamine, if you achieve things, if you meet that need through achievement as opposed to consumption of media, consumption of food, sugar, that really helps.
And the last one on here is know that I can be and do many things. I don't have to put myself in a box. I don't have to categorize myself to make things easier for somebody else to understand. And that stands
Slay!
true for a lot of things. I'm in a very fortunate
I think I was also talking about sexuality there.
position to be able to say that. I'm really lucky that I can say I create my own reality, and you know what? That is exactly what I will do. That is exactly something that I want to believe in this year, and that's what I'm going to make happen. Life can be messy and confusing and random, and it can take you by surprise, and it can take a toll on you. But
on a last note for that is, I think I live by that I don't just define myself by one thing. Everything I do is a product of Mahika, rather than, you know, this defines me, this defines me, this defines me. It's more like, how Mahika can I be? So that's why I have this. I do gym. I don't, on my Instagram, there's no like niche really. That's why I have 3 channels. Yeah, I don't care to be anybody but myself, and I don't care to be anything less than the fullest expression of myself.
what I want for the end.
I think also, quickly just to say, I think that also comes from nearly losing myself. And actually, you know what, losing myself. I lost myself a bit in my relationship. I then lost myself after a sexual assault. And then over the last 10 years, nearly lost myself to suicidal thoughts. And so when you get to that sort of death point, if you will, I like to use death point in another context in terms of fitness. I don't know if I mentioned it yet on this channel, but when you get to that, on the brink, you know, it's a fine line. And in case you haven't seen my videos regarding that topic, what I like to say is, you know, okay, yeah, you could. I'm not saying this to you. I'm not advising you, obviously. I'm not encouraging that. Definitely not. But getting to that point, it makes you think about a lot. And, you know, I said it, I can't carry on like this. You know, maybe these thoughts aren't saying to me that I need to do this, but rather they're saying that I need to end this version of my life, or I need to end this version of me, this way I've been treating myself, this way I've been approaching my life. And so when you get to that point, that limit, and you choose to not go ahead, you really reevaluate a lot about how you approach things, about how you approach yourself and life. And so I think that's definitely got a part to play in me just trying to be me.
This year is to just feel proud of myself. I had to sit down the other day because I've been feeling really low recently. There have been a lot of tears involved, okay?
I think it's probably sad, I'm not gonna lie. Seasonal affective disorder.
Going on for a few months, and I don't know if it's the seasonal,
yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's sad, I don't know if it's because it's dark and grey here in rainy England. Probably. I had to sit down with my dad, and he was like, you need to know that you have so many things that you should be proud of. I need to see that, I need to recognize that, and I need to kind of use that to fire me to go to push me to go forward even more, and push, like, I don't even know what I'm saying.
I think I was seeking self-esteem. Pride is not something that comes knocking on your door. Pride comes from you knowing you are who you say you are, from keeping your commitments to yourself. And so other people can be proud of you, but if you are not aligned within yourself and you know you're lying, that chips away at your self-confidence and your self-esteem. So you're going to have nothing to keep bouncing off of. So make a tiny promise to yourself today. You're going to go for a 5-minute walk. Keep that promise. See how you feel pride when you keep that promise. And then build on it. Add in another new little habit. Add in another new little habit. Or just extend that first one 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, so on and so forth. You build that self-esteem. And then when you, like I said, it's sort of like a reaffirming belief. When you become that person, then everything else becomes a product of you being that person too.
for. But yeah, I mean, that's the general gist of everything. I have a lot
A
of goals.
general gist.
I have a lot of New Year's resolutions that you guys have seen. Hey, if you have any New Year's resolutions of your own, comment them down below. And it's never too late to start. Whether you guys decide to start now, if you decide to start in 6 months, just flipping do it. You know, every
100%.
minute is a new opportunity, really.
I love that. Every minute is a new opportunity.
Support you. I'd love to hear what you guys think and, you know, yeah, what you guys have planned for the year. I'd love to hear that. So comment down below. My Instagram will be in the description
So cute. She was really YouTubing.
box. If you feel like subscribing, go ahead, subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. It'll give me some feedback. Yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. And that's it for now. Thank you.
Yeah, it's clear we didn't go very far with the rambling. Well, to be honest, I think I kind of got to the point, and hopefully you got some, as Athena Raven likes to say, juicy gems from this video today.
This video, if you made it all the way through, bye and welcome. I'll talk to you in the next video. I forgot to say, have a really nice day, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. Bye.
Oh, a little nervous laugh at the end. So cute. And that's it, guys. That's the video. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this video to be that long, but I just thought it would be really nice to go through it and honestly just give you guys some reflections. And I hope that you've learned something today, and I'm really curious to see where I'll be 5 years from now. I don't know if I'll react to this reaction, because that would be an even longer video. Let's see. I don't know, maybe this will be it, but let me know what you guys thought, not only of this video, but also of the last one. And if you have any resolutions at this point, why not? If you have any goals you're trying to work on, any key takeaways, and anything perhaps that you disagree with, I would love to see what your thoughts are. Anyway, guys, if you're curious about my Instagram, other videos, etc., feel free to subscribe. Click on the, I think I have a link in my YouTube thing, and that should take you to all my different socials and whatnot. And I would love to see you there as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.